Hello everyone, my name is Voodoo, and welcome to my brand new No Mover build guide for Dragonflight Season 2. Now, No Mover is one of those builds, it's worse than our other builds, but lots of people don't like momentum, their wrists are hurting from things, there's lots of dungeons or fights they don't like that are really melee restrictive, and they just aren't comfortable playing the mover builds on those fights. In those scenarios, this build is going to be for you. Now, big asterisk, big note, this build is worse than the other builds, and you do still have to Fel Rush rotationally for Fury, but the movement requirements are much less, like significantly less than the other builds, so people might find some value or some success there. Now, with that out of the way, let's get on to the new build. So what is the build, you might be asking? Well, this is the brand new No Mover build. Now, there are a few things different with this one than there were from last season. So last season, you often found yourself coming down through Growing Inferno, Burning Wound, and picking up something like Glaive Tempest. However, this season, the buffs to Relentless Onslaught and Serrated Glaive make this one way better. It's pretty easy to play in single target. I wouldn't recommend using this for AoE at all. There's just these left talents here are just so strong for AoE. If you are going to do this for AoE, then you should drop out these points here, move them over into the Burning Wound side, and even drop out Burning Hatred to pick up Glaive Tempest like this. So the old classic No Mover build, I recommend going something like this. You could also drop a point in Critical Chaos to come down and pick this up instead, which would probably be your better, better situation there. Again, could probably even drop that to come down and pick up something else like Relentless Onslaught. So in AoE, I would recommend doing something like this. But again, I wouldn't recommend touching this build in AoE at all. It's going to be much worse. I would just play something like Glaive Tempest. But again, if you hate Fel Rushing, you hate stuff like that, then this build is, you can play it in AoE. Anyways, back to the new one. So the new build, which takes all these talents here, is going to be able to be played on tons of fights if you don't enjoy the movement requirements. So, we see here we don't have any of the momentum. We still have strong talents like Know Your Enemy, Essence Break, that's there. The combo is still there, but you don't have to flip before it. So, that is the thing. Crit's still very good, haste is still very good, so you can just kind of swap over from your gear from what you're currently running to this one and not have that big of a difference. Other fun little things, we still have Fart of the Flame. There's some good cleave with Inner Demon. This got buffed by a lot recently, so there's good stuff there. And you got stuff with Eye Beam. So all in all, there's some decent stuff going on in this build. Again, it is going to be worse than the other ones, but you can definitely play this if you're feeling burnt out from, moving around, fellowshing around all the time. Now, because of Isolated Prey, if you're fighting a single target and you're running low on Fury, you do have to end up push Fel Rush for like just a gain. You keeps it fairly minimal. You don't have to Fel Rush that often, but you still will have to Fair Rush a few times during combat because Fel Rush is going to be your best generational ability because of how quick it is, how low the GCD is, and just how much Fury it gives you. Now, we do have other stuff like Demonic Appetite, Burning Hatred, and Blind Fury that give you some of that Fury generation back. Also Sigil Flame, also our tier set, also Fellblade, but often you will have to end up Fel Rushing with Isolated Prey to get that Fury. But again, it is much less often than all the movement required from this left side of the tree. So with that out of the way, we'll move over to a target dummy and we'll show you guys a quick little rotational guide for this brand new No Mover build. The rotation for this build is pretty easy. So what you want to do is you want to start off with your Sigil Flame pre-pull, roughly 2 seconds, then use Immolation Aura as you enter combat, then you're going to hunt in and throw out a Glaive. From there, you're going to use your Eye Beam, then you're going to use Annihilation, Essence Break, Death Sweep, Meta, Death Sweep, Annihilation, and then another Eye Beam. Now, in that opener, you do end up wasting 1 Chaos Theory. Also, after that Eye Beam, you do want to use a Annihilation. And then from here, you're going to just basically be using your buttons on cooldown. So the important thing here is whenever you get low on Fury, you do want to end up Fel Rushing through your target. You can get away with not doing that. However, it is going to be the best game to use Fel Rush as a Fury generational tool. In terms of Serrated Glaive, you want to just throw a Glaive before you push Eye Beam, or if your Demon spawns. But realistically, at this point, you're just kind of pushing all your buttons on cooldown. You're using your generational abilities whenever you need them. Otherwise, you're just spending as many Chaos Strikes as possible. So here, I'm going to use Essence Break. Always an Essence Break, you want to make sure you get 1 Death Sweep and 2 Annihilations inside of it. That's the really important part. So here, my Demon spawn, so I'll throw a Glaive at it. And there we go. That's kind of just how you play this this build. It's not very hard, not very complex. I'm not using trinkets or anything just to keep things simple. But I'm just going in. I'm pushing my buttons. I'm just filling with Chaos Strike. You can see on my little bar here, it's mostly just Chaos Strikes. See on my breakdown, again, mostly just Chaos Strikes. And just filling with whatever I need, whenever I need it. Not too bad. not too hard, very simple. So if you're a player who wants to focus on mechanics, maybe you're newer at the class, newer at the game, then you'll find this build to be very easy for you. You don't have to fel rush that often. You don't have to worry about too many complex buttons, too many cooldowns. Basically just using things on CD. Now, one important note is you want to always try to line up your I-beam with a Essence Break whenever you can. So, because of the cooldown reduction you should end up generally getting 2 I-beams for every cycle of Essence Break, which is pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. So whenever you get your second Essence Break charge off CD here, just hold it till you enter Demonic. So these should line up pretty closely together because of my cooldown reduction, so we don't have to worry that much. So I'm going to hold I-beam for a second there. Now, while I'm there, it's going to come off CD, boom, send it. So again, build is pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. Important things are just, fel rush for Fury whenever you can. You generally want to be ignoring your other Fury generational abilities because they just give you less. Fel rush is your best one by far. And then just kind of push your buttons as they light up. Just kind of push things on cooldown, and you'll end up doing tons of damage. So this is the AoE build. Now, I will say it is going to be worse than a lot of other build options in AoE. So only really use this build if you absolutely hate all the movement stuff. But the thing here is we're just pick up Glaive Tempest and things like Growing Inferno, just for more AoE damage, really. Glaive Tempest is a really strong AoE tool, so is Growing Inferno for AoE. So nothing too crazy here. So in terms of this rotation, it's going to be very similar. We start off with our Residual Flame, throw it a Glaive, and then we're going to go into Immolation Aura. Then we hunt in, use our Glaive Tempest, and then hit them with an I-beam. After that, use Annihilation, use Essence Break, Death Sweep, Meta, Death Sweep, Annihilation, and then an I-beam and Annihilation again after that. And from here, you're just going to be doing the same thing. You want to be using your Glaive Tempest on cooldown, your Death Sweep on cooldown, Immolation Aura on cooldown, and you want to be tab targeting to spread your burning wound around to different enemies. Now, if you have nothing else to push, you can just throw a Glaive out during downtime to achieve that same effect. Wouldn't recommend doing it. It's going to be a loss to do so, but it's not that big of a deal. It's neither here nor there. Making sure whenever you're pushing I-beam, you use your Death Sweep first before spreading your Annihilation proc. It's going to be the best way to do that. And really from here, you're just kind of just pushing buttons as they glow. So it's really important too with Essence Break just to line it up again for Death Sweep combos. You don't want to be missing out on your Death Sweeps inside your Annihilation window, inside your whatever window there. And again, the other thing is you want to just sync up Essence Break with casts of I-beam. So every 2 I-beams, you want to sync it up to your Essence Break cast. But really, nothing else too much here. I'm kind of just rambling a bit. The rotation itself is not very difficult. The damage isn't, anything crazy and nothing insane to write home about, but it's solid enough. Should you not like the other builds, you definitely can do something like this. So that is my No Mover build guide for patch 10.1, Season 2 of Dragonflight. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Now again, No Mover is kind of one of those builds where it's not really better than the other builds. Of course, any build or a good player can do well, but No Mover is one of those builds where played perfectly, it is still pretty far behind one of the other builds, and you do still have to fel rush with it. Now, not fel rushing is a big loss, but the movement requirements from it is still much less than those of the momentum-based builds. So if you're a player, maybe you're newer to the game, newer to the class, maybe your wrists hurt, or you don't like all of the space restrictive stuff and trying to fel rush around during that, then these builds can do well for you and can be a very good middle ground to kind of avoid the momentum stuff and to just kind of do your own thing, do your own lane, and just kind of vibe out and play some Havoc. This is more akin to the older 1-2 button, really simple rotation Havoc stuff. So if you're a big fan of those, then this build will probably do very good for you and you'll probably really enjoy it. Now, again, it will be worse than other builds, so, I have to just keep saying that, making sure people are aware of that. But if you enjoy something like this, then this is definitely there for you. So I'll have build links in the description. Anyways, I just want to thank you guys for watching this. Now, as you're watching this, it should come out Friday. I'll be away next week, actually, from Sunday till Thursday. So no streams or anything, I'm going camping. But I should have some videos out while I'm gone still. So keep an eye out for those. And I just, again, want to thank you all so much for watching the videos and taking the time to support everybody and everything I do. So thank you all so much. Hope you guys have a great weekend and the rest of your week. I'll be talking to you guys next week from, I guess, I'm recording this Wednesday. So you won't hear from me after Thursday. So again, thank you guys all so much. I'll be on a bit of a vacation next week. Should still be some content, but have a good weekend. Peace out. A big thank you to my channel members, 121, Pain, Zach Ward, It's Bulk, and Flapjack67. You guys are amazing and help me to put out this content that I do for all you guys. If you want to become a channel member, there's a link in the description. You get access to a ton of cool perks, exclusive emotes for comments and live chat whenever I stream on YouTube, as well as a ton of other things, and just get to help me make better content. Once again, thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Peace.